Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. Quick info before we begin. In today's first story there is mention of eating disorder and this video has two stories and both of them have updates. So let's get started with the first one. This post is from the subreddit Relationships and it's by user My Kid Is Not Fat. My mom, 70 female, constantly tells me, 32 female, that my daughter, 5 female, is going to become obese. She's actually underweight. So, like it says in the title, I have a daughter, Leah, who is 5. She's strong and healthy, but slightly underweight for her height. She's been this way since she was a toddler. She seems to take after her dad, who is also very tall and thin. Leah eats plenty of healthy food and gets lots of activity, and we see her pediatrician regularly. He has told us that her weight is not an issue as long as she continues to eat well. The problem is my mother, who is convinced my daughter is going to become obese. While I serve healthy food most of the time, I do occasionally let my daughter have McDonald's for lunch or ice cream after dinner. Every time I do this when my mother is around, she makes dire comments about how Leah is going to get fat. If Leah mentions she had a hot dog for dinner, my mom says something about the childhood obesity pandemic. If she sees me giving Leah a cookie, she shakes her head and says something about how Leah seems to be packing on the pounds. To her credit, she never says these things in front of Leah, but around me, she never stops. The thing is, I am overweight, and I have been since I was a kid. Not obese, but definitely heavier than I should be. Although there are a lot of reasons for this, I know that the responsibility for my health is ultimately mine alone. I think my mother's unhealthy attitude towards food have played a large part in my weight problems. She would tell me I was disgusting and needed to lose weight, then turn around and give me a cupcake if I had a bad day at school. Food was the enemy, but also my main source of consolation. This led to me becoming an emotional eater, a problem I still struggle with today. I have gone to therapy and made major changes in my lifestyle to become a good role model for my daughter, and I am losing my excess weight. I talk regularly with Leah about nutrition and exercise, but I refuse to place the same value judgments on food and weight that my mother did. I have told my mother repeatedly that Leah is healthy and happy and is not in danger of becoming obese, and that I want her to stop making comments, but she can't seem to help herself. I have warned her that if she starts making these comments in front of Leah, I will cut her off in a heartbeat. But Leah loves her grandma and I would hate to end their relationship over something that is really only bothering me. Can anyone think of a way to get my mom to lay off? Well, OP, I have to say first, your mom sucks. Terrible mother to be doing that to you. She basically gave you an eating disorder. And a way to fix this is actually to put your mom on a diet. A contact diet, as in no contact. She can't seem to help herself. You know what? A baby can't help themselves. A 70-year-old woman can restrict her mouth and just keep it shut. And regarding Leah, I think you're doing okay. I'm not a nutritionist or anything like that, but I believe that a little bit of junk food every once in a while is okay as an indulgence. As long as you still eat healthy and are somewhat active, everything should be fine. And the most important thing of all is that the pediatrician says that Leah is okay. That should be enough for your mom to just shut the F up. Now, the only thing that I think you're worried about is her connection to grandma. I think there's two ways you can go about it. You can just go no contact, and if Leah asks about grandma, you say that grandma's just not available, or busy or something. Or you can tell her the truth, that grandma's a bumbling idiot and that she just needs some time to screw her head on straight. But maybe you use other words. In summary, OP, I think the only way that you can get your mom to lay off is to cut her off. And what do you guys think about this whole situation? What would you do if you were in OP's shoes? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Pariah Bear 790 says, maybe a trial run where your daughter does not see your mother for an extended period of time, 2 weeks or something. In the meantime, tell your mother how you feel and let that sink it for her. Right now, it's concerned comments made to you. Eventually, it will be private concerned conversations between Leah and her grandmother. And Opie responds, "That is my main concern. I have told her point blank that if I ever hear her mentioning Leia's weight or eating habits to Leia, I will not hesitate to cut off contact. I will not have my daughter raised with the same eating issues I had. I do think she will respect this because she loves Leia, only grandchild, and knows I am serious about this." Deleted says, "For your understanding, I have heard more than one story on Just No Mill where the grandmother who caused the eating disorder did all their BS like 'you are fat, you need to be slim or no one will love you' in private. And by the time the parent found out, the kid already had an eating disorder. If you leave them unsupervised, even for a few hours, then be careful what she is saying to your daughter. It's basically step one of this sort of abuse that they say, 'Oh, and don't tell anyone.' As for dealing with your mom, point out that she is factually wrong. You check your daughter's weight and she is underweight for her height. That time your mother said she is packing on the pounds, tell her she had actually stayed exactly the same or less than last month. The doctor has repeatedly confirmed she is underweight. Ask your mother if she thinks her eyes are more accurate than your scales and her doctor's. Then tell her she can stop or F off. Every time she gives you crap, cut her off for a month. You are more important than her grandma, and it's bad for you if you have to stress out about being harassed every time they meet and if you can't trust your mother not to cause an eating disorder." Lightning Soup says, "Your mother is still making these comments to you because you are allowing it. Shut it down every single time. This topic is not up for discussion. If you insist on bringing it up again, this conversation is over. Then mean it. Kick her out. Leave where you are. Hang up. Whichever applies at that time. This is what you have to do every time. She has your ear, so she won't stop until she is forced to stop. Tell her that bringing it up will end up losing time with her granddaughter and mean it. You say your daughter loves her, but she will internalize these messages if she hears them, especially if they are from someone she loves and trusts so much. Also, no unsupervised time with grandma. I wouldn't trust what she said behind your back or her actions after this." Additional information from OP's comments. For those of you wondering, I'm sure there isn't any truth to my mother's comments. Leia's doctor was the one who characterized her as a little underweight. At her last checkup, she was in the 95th percentile for height, but down around the 40th percentile for weight. If a kid with those stats is considered overweight, I'd hate to see the kid they consider to be at a healthy weight. Alright, well, the community is telling OP in unison that grandma is nuts and that she should be cut off if she continues with this crap. And OP gave us some more information considering Leia's health, and yeah, she seems absolutely healthy. So now it's time to move on to the update to see what happened next and how the story ends. But of course, before that, here's another one of my playlists for you guys to enjoy after this video. Now let's move on with that update. Hi Reddit, I'm back with an update. Thanks for all the responses you gave me on my first post. I think I needed a dose of reality and that's what I got. After reading all the comments, I realized I needed to talk to my mom. So when she came over, before she had a chance to say anything about Leia's eating habits, I took her aside and said, "Enough! Leia is healthy and happy, and your weight comments are inappropriate. They stress me out and they are bad for Leia. If you keep making them, we're just not going to see you anymore." She sputtered a bit, but ultimately agreed to my terms. I was hopeful that maybe she would actually stop making the comments so we could have a somewhat normal relationship and she could continue to see Leia. Hahaha, well, I work part-time schedule of 2 days per week and every other weekend. This was my working weekend, so my husband was home with Leia. When I got home after work on Sunday, I could tell something was up. Leia was already in bed and my husband looked really tense. He's usually a pretty laid-back guy, so this was weird. When I asked what was up, he said we needed to talk about my mother. I told him that I had spoken with her and that she had been warned not to make any more comments about Leia's weight. Well, apparently she just couldn't do it because she called him knowing I was at work that day and told him that I was blind to Leia's problem and that he needed to get involved because I had confided in her that Leia's pediatrician told me she was at serious risk of obesity and type 2 diabetes and that we needed to change her diet so she would lose weight. What? Yep, absolutely off the reservation nuts. For the record, Leia's pediatrician has never said anything like that. In fact, as I mentioned in my last post, he told me that she is underweight. Fortunately, my husband, A, attends all Leia's doctor's appointments, and B, has the sense to realize that a rail-thin child isn't edging toward obesity. So he knew it was bunk. He told my mom that she wasn't to call again until she heard from me. Well, I was livid. It was like after years and years of weight-related crap from my mom, something finally snapped. I called her, and the minute she said, "Hello," I just lit into her. I told her that based on her behavior, she was either delusional or a manipulative sociopath, and that either way, she wasn't allowed around me or my kid again. I told her she was not welcome to call, email, come over, or send cards. Basically, we were going to pretend like she didn't exist. I hung up before she had a chance to get a word in edgewise. She called 15 times that night. I finally blocked her number on my cell and my husband's. We don't have a landline, so this means she can't call us at all. I had 3 emails in my inbox the next morning, which I deleted without reading before blocking her email address as well. Finally, we had given her a key to our house for emergency purposes, so first thing yesterday, I had the locks changed and then took Leia out for the day. Lo and behold, when we came home, my neighbor said that my mom, she recognizes her because she used to come over a lot, had been banging on the door for almost half an hour earlier that day before storming off in a huff. I can only imagine how angry she was when she realized her key didn't work anymore. Anyway, something that concerns me is that if she has any grip on reality at all, she would realize that my husband wouldn't believe her lies. Either she's actually lost it or she's playing some kind of game by saying that to him. The good thing is that she's not a candidate for court-ordered grandparent visitation, so I'm not worried about that. I don't actually have a lot of other family. My dad is deceased, my only uncle is deceased, and my cousin is stationed somewhere in Europe with the military. It's really just me and my mom, which is part of why I put up with her behavior for so long. And just for context, my mom is not overweight, but she definitely doesn't have a good relationship with food. She counts every calorie and tries a lot of fad diets to keep her weight down. Her attitude, which I think she got from her own mom, is almost like weight is a moral issue. In her mind, being overweight isn't just unhealthy, it means you're a bad person. She's still sharp as a tack, and I did consider sending her an email telling her to get some medical or psychological help, but I'm not sure I want even that degree of contact. So, I feel better than I have in years, which makes me think I did the right thing. The only thing I struggled with was how to break the news to Leia. She really does love Grandma. My husband and I sat down with her that night, and I explained that Grandma was sick, and that Daddy and I had decided that right now it isn't safe for Leia to spend time with her, so we're going to take a break. I told her that none of it was her fault and that she could talk to her dad or me if she felt sad or angry about the situation. She took it pretty well, all things considered. I'm also going to email my cousin with a heads up. She and my mom have never been close, and I don't know if my mom even knows where she's stationed, much less how to communicate with her, but I guess it wouldn't hurt anything to fill her in. Anyway, thanks again for all your help. Smiley face. Well done to the both of you, OP. You and your husband managed this situation perfectly. Your husband didn't let her fill his head with crap, and you guys cut contact with her in the best way possible. No phone, no email, no key, no way to get to you. And you had a proper conversation with Leia about the whole thing. So I'm gonna count this as a happy update, and hopefully your mom does get help. If not, well, that's on her. Take care, OP, and thank you for sharing. And now, let's move on to the next post that, like I said in the beginning, also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Relationships, and it's by user Star Event Horizon. Mom, female 40 of one of my, female 29, students, May 12, tries to hustle me. I'm a private tutor and I just started working with this great kid who unfortunately has a very poor level in school due to the fact that his family has just moved from another country and he doesn't understand the main language here, so he failed the subject at school. His father wants us to work 5 times a week and so does the kid. He apparently likes me a lot and has understood everything I explained in the first lesson. Now, the problem is that when his mom approached me for the first time before the session, she wanted a discount. And I thought about the fact that we'll have many sessions, so I said okay. I gave her a 16% discount from the original price. After the first class, she comes to me and says she wants another discount equal to 32% of the original price. I told her that I couldn't do that because I had so much to do with the kid. I had to synchronize 2 different languages with different grammar types, Anglo-Saxon and Latin, in order to create a valid output that the kid would understand. I have explained this to the mom, but she thinks that what I do is very easy and she got a little arrogant on me. Drop down to X amount of money and we'll shake on it. She told me that she wanted a discount because she would send many students my way, that she is kind of rich and that I don't have to worry financially, even if I told her that I don't have time for new students and that I prefer to focus on the ones I have now. And that's something I don't get. She says that she's rich, but still she bargains like being at the flea market? What would you do? Would you give her another discount? Would you stop the collaboration? Well, OP, if I'm honest with you, to me, that 16% is already too much. This is your job, this is your livelihood, and nobody's gonna pay you to do them any favors. Also, like you say, if she's rich, she shouldn't have a problem paying your rates, and wanting a 32% discount, that's just ridiculous. That's the kind of discount you get when a store is going out of business. So no, personally, I wouldn't give her any other discount. I would tell her, you know what? This is as much as I can do. If you don't like it, then you can go find yourself another tutor. That's the beauty of the free market. You get to choose who you get the service from and then you pay their rates. Now, there could be a counter argument saying, well, it's a cultural thing. In their culture, they haggle. Well, unless you are also a part of that culture, then that doesn't apply to you and you get to charge whatever you want. So to answer your questions, no, I wouldn't give her any other discount, and if she keeps on bothering you, then yeah, I would stop the collaboration. And what do you think about this situation? What would you do if you were in OP's shoes? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Saltpile says, no, I would definitely not give her a further discount. You have already given her a discount. She sounds like she is greedy and clearly doesn't respect you. You must stand up for yourself. I suggest you stop explaining why your price is what it is and defending yourself. Instead, just say calmly that this is what the price is. She can take it or leave it. A useful phrase is, this is what my time is worth to me, meaning you would rather have free time than work for less. Her offer of sending students your way to all pay a third less is not appealing, so you really have no reason to do it. If what you do is so easy, she can do it herself. Deleted says, in many different cultures, haggling is extremely commonplace, and in some countries it's expected, so the starting price is actually inflated so no one would pay asking price. I think this could be a cultural misunderstanding. Just let her know you do not haggle because you have already given her your best price. Reiterate that no one else is getting as good of a deal and you can't go any lower. That's it. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't be insulted. This is not personal. It's just how it's done in many countries. And Flumbi says, I know you feel for the kid, but in any service-based industry, there are clients that are not worth your time, and this woman is one of them. You have already expended too much effort for this client. Stick with your rules and boundaries. Nobody gets to be special. Either these people can pay or they can't. I love the phrase, it's up to you, as in, you set the price and terms. They try to dicker with you or get some unreasonable deal, and you repeat your price and terms, and when they complain, say cheerily, it's up to you. Let me know if you want to go ahead. Alright, well, the community's pretty clear. OP set surprises, and that's it. If the mom doesn't like it, she can go elsewhere. Now, OP didn't respond to any comments, which means we move on straight to the update to see how this story ends. So, thank you all for your encouragement and input. I wanted to write when this happened, but I had no time, so here I am writing now. Guess what? The mom called again a few days ago regarding the same issue, me offering yet another discount. I tried to explain calmly and delicately again why I would not give her the discount. She pretended that she didn't get it. So I told her that if she insisted, she might end up looking for someone else to tutor her child, and being the case, good luck with that. I mentioned that because her son has such a low level, I can guarantee that no one will want him as a student because there is a 6-year gap between what he has studied so far and where his classmates are right now. I also told her that I find very disrespectful the fact that I already offered her a discount, that I think that she's greedy, and that I'm not going to give in just because she will send me many students. I suggested she try doing what I do for a week with visible results, and she said nothing. She got very upset and almost hung up on me, but she kept on sending her child and the agreed payment for each class. I have a feeling that her husband has no clue about all the discount drama that's going on, as he seems to be very happy with my work and with paying me. Well, OP, good for you for standing your ground and for telling her how it is. Too bad she got upset. That's double the work for her. Getting upset and then getting unupset, if that's a word. Anyways, thank you so much for sharing, OP. Take care. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out. So here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.